Welcome to the training for the Sub-User module. This section of Virtual Supervisor allows you to add and remove secondary users to and from your account. You have great control over what areas of Virtual Supervisor your team has access to. Each user will have access to only those stores you select for that user. You also choose which of the Virtual Supervisor modules the user has access to. You can even select the reports the user can and cannot run. Let's take a deeper look at that module now. The module can be reached by clicking on the Setup tab, then User Setup, and lastly, Sub-Users. Please note that the Sub-Users tab is only visible when logged in under the main user for that account. This is usually the franchisee user account. This tab will not be visible to your sub-users. This is a welcome page for the sub-user module. It gives a brief description for what each tab in the module does. It is possible that the screenshots about to be shown may change over time, but their general usage should remain consistent with this training. We're going to begin our exploration of the User Maintenance tab. This is a page used to create and delete users. Creating a user is as simple as filling out the top of the form and clicking on the Create User button. The username must be in the form of first name, last name. Also, the password must be a minimum of 8 characters and contain at least one non-alphanumeric character. As you are well aware, Virtual Supervisor is constantly receiving upgrades with new features and reports usually on a weekly basis. For this reason, please provide a valid email address for your team member so they will receive proper notification on such enhancements. Once the user is created, he or she will then appear on the other tabs we are about to cover. To delete a user, you simply select their name from the drop-down list and hit the Delete User button. Note, however, that this deletion is instantaneous and irreversible. Any and all settings made by the user or you within Virtual Supervisor will be lost forever. Let's now move on to the other tabs. The Stores Setup tab is where you tell Virtual Supervisor what stores each user has access to. To allow a user access to data on a particular store, you simply click on the checkbox in the appropriate place. When you're finished with your selection, ensure you click on the Update Grid button located at the top or bottom of the grid. The User Access tab is where you tell Virtual Supervisor what section of the program the user may access. Depending upon your own subscription, you may have more or less columns than what is indicated in the screenshot. For example, if you haven't subscribed to Guardian Angel, then those columns will be hidden from your view. Checking the boxes in the appropriate place will grant or deny access to the various sections within Virtual Supervisor. These different modules are either on or off for the user. Guardian Angel, however, has 2 checkboxes, one to grant access to the module, the other to allow the user the ability to make changes to Guardian Angel's configuration. This allows you the ability to allow users into Guardian Angel to see what the settings and features are, but not allow them to alter the configuration if you so choose. The last 2 columns deserve some additional explanation. Because we are constantly adding reports and features, you have the ability to turn on or off those new reports and features automatically using these checkboxes. This way, you don't have to come into the sub-user module every time something is added to the site. Think carefully how you want Virtual Supervisor to act though. For example, choosing not to have reports on by default would require you to turn on all new reports as they become available. It may be easier to have them on by default and only have to occasionally turn reports off if you find the content too sensitive in nature for a particular team member. Don't forget to click the Update Grid button before leaving this page. Let's cover the last tab now. The Report Access tab allows you to decide exactly what reports can be run on the Polling and Audit Wizard tab of Virtual Supervisor. The reports are organized within the grid within the same categories found on the Polling and Audit Wizard tab panel bar. Selecting whether a report is visible or not on the grid will show or hide that report on the panel bar. Here we see how profitability is displayed when P&L estimate is enabled, and here we see how it looks when it is disabled. As with all the grids, don't forget to hit the Update Grid button to save your changes. This concludes your introductory training for the Sub-User module of Virtual Supervisor.